And go instead of default, pick whatever your headphones are. Now click OK. Now try it.
Yeah, looks good. I see the things going.
Wait, House, if you talk, does it go? Okay, perfect. Yep. Alrighty. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. So we are here with good set coming down the pipe. We've got the Pteroducktlys versus Olympians Loki division. Pteroducktlys are 4-2 going into this week. Olympians are 1-5. And last week, Pteroducktlys won 2-0 against the Koalas, and Olympians lost 2-0 to Trash Pandas. So the Olympians are looking to right the ship here a little bit, maybe rebound from loss to the currently undefeated Trash Pandas, and Pteroducktlys are looking to keep the momentum going. I'm getting cocky, and I've got official Cheeto, aka Resident Shedman, here with us today to assist in casting here. And I'm going to pass it over to you so you could talk a little bit more about what you know about these teams.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here today with Cocky. I mean, we know how much love I have for Cocky. Thank you as well to Mr. House, who's over here on the spectator. I mean, so you've already spoke about it being a very good game today. It's going to be Olympians versus Pteroducktlys. I mean, I know quite a lot about both of these two teams, being a Loki player myself. Obviously, Olympians kind of have something to put up here because, I mean, they want to get this win. They want to head towards the gauntlet, and that's what they're going to be looking to do from getting a win today. Being 1-5 isn't a great look at the moment, but it's always possible. You should never think like down. You should always be looking towards getting those wins, and they need to be pushing towards this gauntlet placement because all it takes is one good day and they could win the finals. It only takes one good day. I mean, we can see, obviously, I think we haven't got the rosters yet looking into this game because we're not in as of yet. But I should imagine it'll be Weiss, Low, maybe Lox Tree Frog with Aztec and Hombre for the Ductals. That is what I should imagine. We're looking probably Onyx, Goofie, TheJakeyJakester, FattyBacon, StInKyyPPiNkYY, and I'm pretty sure maybe bunnytush may be playing today for the Olympians after being traded from the Nightly Koalas for Wattle XP. So it's going to be an absolutely huge game. bunnytush is renowned as one of the top Loki ADCs. There's that many good Loki ADCs this season that it's going to be a hard push to say she's one of the best, but I mean, she's up there, that is for a certain. So it's going to bring a lot of quality to this Olympian squad. Onyx obviously has that 4 experience from being in 4 last season. TheJakeyJakester, a very renowned Loki jungler. But I mean, on the other hand, for Pteroducktlys, you have Aztec Warrior, who's now playing support, I believe, who was known as one of the best Loki mids for the past couple of seasons, switching to support now. Obviously, we have the man himself, Mr. Low for life. We all love Low. Biggest flex picking Loki, obviously. Lox Tree Frog, a very good friend of myself. We all love Low. Lox. I mean, Lox, whether he's playing mid or ADC, we don't know. I think it's mid, but this dude's going to frag either way. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, and this is going to be a very good game for these two teams, and I'm looking forward to seeing actually what happens here because, I mean, being on Ice Age myself, it's going to be a good look to see if Olympians can actually push Pteroducktlys out of towards the top spots, to be honest. It'd be nice to see that happen, but you never know what's going to happen in Smite Game. It only takes one good game, like I say.
Yep, that's for sure.
We are just waiting for
the teams we're just waiting to get in the game right here.
Yeah, we do love technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a game of Smite without technical difficulties. Am I wrong? No.
We don't have Phoenix spectating, so... Okay, so it appears that the lobby crashed, so we will be going in shortly. Cheeto, would you say there's any besides your standard like Morgan Le Fay, Tiamat, is there any target bans that you think that you'll see from either side in this game, or?
So, I mean, it completely depends, to be honest. I know that the Ductals probably aren't going to be looking to target ban in particular. I know that they have a lot of knowledge on that team, so I think they're going to go for more meta-end bans. I mean, you don't want to see... I don't know if Lowe's are actually going to be playing in solo lane, but I mean, that is a possibility as well. And if I know that Lowe's really good on this Morgan Le Fay. He has that many good gods. Whether he's playing mid or whether he's playing solo, whether he's playing jungle, whether he's actually playing ADC, I don't even know. He can just go around that much into that many different roles, apart from support, because he stinks in that role. But that man will tell you this himself. And I mean, no, I think it's going to be more meta-end gods. For the hand of Olympians, though, I'm not sure. I haven't really got the chance to play or watch much about this Olympian side, so I'm looking to actually looking forward to getting a bit of scouting details on these. And I mean, we do play the Pteroducktlys next week, so this is a good game for me to be watching.
And it looks like we are now into picks and bans, so we will see what we got here. And it looks like we've got Aztec Warrior, White Ombre, Low for Life, Ordered Mess, and Weiss.
Yep,
on
and
Ductals.
we are gonna see bunnytush in her first game on the Olympian side there.
Yep, that's pretty exciting. I'm assuming, is it Stinky support or is it Goofy support?
I'm pretty sure it's StInKyyPPiNkYY in support, and I'm pretty sure Goofy plays solo lane, unless
I think he played support Thor last season, so that's why I asked. So our first two bans out the gate are Artemis and Morgan Le Fay. Artemis is probably the most annoying whenever I'm in scrims of my team. If I don't get the Artemis, they're just like, ban it, because it just provides so much team utility, and plus with the bows being so meta right now, she can just pump out a lot of damage really fast. We also see a Tiamat ban and an Athena ban. So far it's been meta. It's been pretty meta picks. Ban wise, I mean, Morgan and Tiamat are very oppressive, and even Odin is seeing a resurgence as of late of being a really annoying god that no one likes to play against.
Yeah. Big shields do be annoying. Big shields do be annoying, and we are going to see Pteroducktlys here locking that Soul for the first pick. I mean, Soul is still just a very viable mid lane. She brings that much pressure into that lane that it kind of makes the other mid, if you're not able to play into it, just not be able to play the video game, to be honest.
Yeah, she can be super oppressive with her passive, getting the extra attack speed and better damage off the autos.
Yeah, we are going to see another god hovered that's recently come back into a resurgence, as you said. That's Fafnir, and it is going to be locked in there for the Overlord. Olympians, should I say? I do apologise. And I mean, Fafnir is a god that nobody saw anything of in comp until like the beginning of this season.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they're gonna pick. The only reason I can see them trying to pick it is to keep it away from Pteroductals here, or they could be looking at running, either a hunter mid, or they could be running someone like maybe an Arachne or
maybe an
or some auto attack jungler here.
Yeah. Completely agree. An AA jungle would work well with that Fafnir, and I mean, it does keep it away from the Ductals here as well, which is it's a good pickup, to be honest. And obviously, Cucullen's going to be locked in as well. Cucullen's still being Cucullen. It's kind of just at the minute people just play the exact same gods in solo lane. That's why I stay far away from that role, because I mean, who wants to play the same god every single game? I couldn't do it, honestly. So respect for all the solo laners out there. And over on the hand of Ductals again, we are going to see Xbalanque and Sobek locked in. I mean, Sobek obviously being known as still one of the best supports out there behind Athena. His kit brings so much in hand of aggressiveness for a team. And
I honestly would say I think Sobek's in a better spot right now than Athena.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Athena just gets banned every game, right? And I mean, to be honest, with the Jablonke as well, it just works well with the bow build. And obviously, third pick for the Olympians is going to be Scylla. So they have got some sort of objective secure on their team as well, plus the huge damage numbers that Scylla potentially can bring to a team.
Yeah, and bans we see in a Wheelix ban, which is I'm not.
Maybe we're going to see
I'm
a
a
pick up.
little surprised, but I'm not surprised. They do have
Yeah.
3 jumps on that team that a Wheelix
Yeah.
can pull, but
Yeah, maybe we're going to see a Fenrir picked up here for Olympians.
that could very well be, unless we see it banned here on the side of Pteroducktlys.
Yeah, we are going to see Tsukiyomi banned out, and I mean, they are looking to ban out jungles here. Looks like both teams are, to be honest. Erlong Shen can flex into the jungle. So, I mean, triple frontline tanks comps are absolutely horrid. I mean, especially with that Odin there, and I mean, it has been banned, but Odin can be flexed into jungle, and it can be nasty. We do know that Onyx does play that as well, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Interesting to see an Izanami ban. Not a god that you expect to see banned, but with the bow build and everything, also having the biggest stim in the game.
What I am surprised not to see banned here, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna lock it in Olympians is a Rama ban. It's well renowned that bunnytush is a one-trick Rama. I'm pretty sure she has like 20-something stars on the flipping god, to be honest. So we will see if that's going to be picked up. Thanatos locked in for Pteroducktlys here, and we're going to see what they pick up last pick. Do you rate the Thanatos pick here?
Like they needed something with early game, and I mean Thanatos does provide that. I mean he's well known with Arachne to have the cringe level 2 gank in mid. So I think it's fine. I'm just concerned that like if he gets there's a lot of ways that they can stop Thanatos from moving around the map with the Scylla root, with the Neja Sash, with Fafnir Hammer. We do see the Rama coming out for bunnytush, so we will see how as you so eloquently put, the Rama one trick plays on their most well-renowned character.
Honestly, I don't care about people calling someone a one trick. I mean, if you're playing good on a god, then why not play it? Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
gotta play it so they ban it, and then you can get something better.
Exactly, and it's. I mean, if you played a god well, then if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? We are going to see ordered mess in ADC. It's looking like it's going to be low in the mid lane here today. XWhiteHombrex, this man is renowned to be an absolute fragger, so we'll see how he gets on with this Thanatos.
You were not kidding about the stars. Holy snake.
Yeah. I was not kidding, my guy. I was not kidding. But honestly, big question is, Cocky, looking at these teams, who do you sway more towards?
I would sway a little bit more towards the Ductals here. I do think having 2 ADC, or I shouldn't say 2 ADCs, but having 2 auto attack based characters, especially with them being ranged, really open up objectives for you. Obviously, you don't necessarily lose the secure that you have, where the Olympians have Scylla, and Scylla obviously is one of the best objective secures in the game with her ultimate, and also, I mean, even her I can't even think of what the circle ability is called, but that even does a lot of Crush does a lot of damage. So I mean, she really has 2 ways to secure. One's on a little bit longer cooldown, obviously does a lot more damage, but both are both are that. But yeah, I would give it, and I mean like by a hair, to Ductals here.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at these team comps, really the thing that I'm thinking is, can the Olympians mid-max? And I think that's going to be a very pinnacle point to this game. If they can get this Scylla to the late game before the soul is able to, and be able to put that pressure from the soul in mid. I think that's going to be an absolutely huge thing. And I mean, let's be honest, Naja, Scylla, and Cuckoo, that zoning is absolutely unreal. It's going to be very big for them in team fights. I like this Olympians comp, honestly. I really like this Olympians comp, and it's well renowned that the Pteroducktlys Loki team is known for not having a very great mid game. If Olympians can prioritize on that, and if bunnytush is able to absolutely frag on this Rama as the stars look, then I think we could be seeing a very, very huge game here, honestly.
Interesting to see the bracer dropped right there. I mean, we did see in the SPL this weekend, I believe it was PVM that picked up the bracer there, and I know that my current support Gray does tend to pick up that starter and has gotten flack multiple times on stream. And as we see the first blood coming out in the solo lane, Weiss just doing Weiss things. You know, it's kind of
Weiss. We're doing love Weiss.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I said that though.
Well, he can go back and watch the VOD and he'll hear you say, he'll hear it from your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks I hate him, so.
Do have a little bit of a scuffle over here in the duo lane, and Olympians are a little bit low. I don't know if they step up here.
I mean, to be honest, if it's Rama can just make it to level 5, it's going to benefit them a bit more.
Yeah.
X-Ball has a lot of poke off of, is it his 1, I believe it is.
A lot of damage off the soul one there.
Yeah, absolutely huge damage. And I mean, Thanatos, Scythe, and Scylla, and Soul 2 hits. That is just instant delete, and this man is going back to the fountain, honestly. He just needs to get some HP. What I am surprised to see is that this Pteroducktlys team didn't look for the early killings in mid, and I would have liked to see that with a high pressure team like this in mid. Soul's really out of position here in mid. The beads are going to be popped as well. The Sapphire also going to be popped. I mean, Low put himself in a really bad place there, being aggressive, just popped 2 as well, trying to pick up a kill onto the Naja, but it's not going to happen. And this man's now extremely out of mana. A lot of pressure for Pteroducktlys over in the duo lane as well here. Which, I mean, it's expected. The poke off of Jablonki, like I said, it's going to be quite predominant until this Rama kind of gets Ickavel online, and then Rama's just going to kind of do what Rama does and clear wave really quick and kind of like bully this Jablonki, I'd like to say. We are going to see a purple invade as well from the Ducktlys. They're actually not going to take this. They're going to bait. Fafnir hammer hits. They're going to pick up this purple now, and it looks like Olympians are just going to drop that.
It was a really good job there by FattyBacon to not get baited in there by both of them. Maybe a little bit of a misplay from the Ducktlys. Kind of, I think if they sat a little further inside the buff there, they might have gotten it in. Lots of action in this game already.
Yep.
And Low for
Here
life
comes the
takes a
pressure.
kill in the mid.
Yeah, there's that pressure.
And that is not what you want to see from Soul there. And it looks like Weiss may get a solo kill here. He uses ult.
Weiss is going to get another solo kill.
He didn't even use his ult.
Didn't even need to.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's pretty big for Weiss there. I mean, this man's going to come straight back to this. Could be able to bully right over again. Here comes Ordered Mess here, picking up the kill over in duo as well onto bunnytush. It's not looking good right now for Olympians. They've taken this early game really badly, and it looks like Low's actually going to be picked up from the ult there. No. Okay, Sash is on point. That is going to be a kill there for Onyx Goofie, and here comes Hombre. He's going to miss the scythe there, but Onyx Goofie's in trouble. He's just going to walk out.
Yeah, if he hits that scythe there, that Naja is ripperoni pepperoni.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you do me a quick favour, House, and just reorder the gods?
It's fine.
Oh wait, no, it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
So
we've got about a 1.5K gold lead for the Ducktlys right now, and that is not not what you want to see if you're on the side of Olympians here. I mean, I think you've got almost a whole level lead in mid there, even with Soul taking the spell. You've got a 2-level lead over there in solo, and honestly, I would say that's if I'm the Olympians, that's the scariest thing for me right now, because Weiss is gonna come into these team fights mid game as a freaking raid boss.
He's gonna rage. He's going to take a hell of a lot of damage as well, and Weiss is just able to bully out a Cullen, which is not something you see very often. You do see the quality here of Weiss coming out to show on a tier able to bully out a Cullen. That's really good work.
It's also kind of interesting, like looking at their builds. You've got Weiss going into, I'm assuming that's going to be a breastplate. I'm not, and I'm guessing it's going to be a mystical mail on the side of ConjurationNite. Sorry,
yeah, so I mean,
over there.
Let's be honest, we all know that Cullen with I've completely forgotten.
It's standard build.
Yeah.
It's standard build. I'm just a little surprised that we don't see, like, obviously with tier being a spammy.
I think Weiss wants to cool down on the tier.
Right. Well, it also gives mana too, so exactly. that's another bonus. You'll be able to use more abilities.
It's an early pickup for the Gold Scorpion here. Aztec and Low going to take that down. They have pressure all over the place. I mean, honestly, they should just clear that Fire Giant side one as well. Silver's going to be popped. Hombre is going to take a hell of a lot of damage here. Scylla's going to hit absolutely none of her kit. Scythe's on point. He's going to take the heal. Onyx is absolutely going to chase this. Weiss is taking a hell of a lot of coke. Hombre is in really big trouble here. Here comes a mid lane and a support from Pteroducktlys, and Hombre is just going to walk out of here. But Soul's going to be popped, and it's absolutely not on the mark. StInKyyPPiNkYY is taking a hell of a lot of damage. Sash just hit. Beats a pop from Low.
No mana though for Neja. Neja's going to take a lot of damage here.
Yeah, she absolutely is. And that's the ult pop from Fafnir, and this is the initiation here.
And they're just going to walk away.
Yeah, they're just going to walk away.
That is the dead StInKyyPPiNkYY. Yeah.
That is in fact a dead Scylla. That man should have left town a lot earlier than what he planned on doing. Here's Weiss again. Hombre is going to kill there in the mid. Oh my god, it's an absolute wipe in mid, and that's all of their lives, and they should go for gold here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Right now, we're starting to get into what I would call a little bit of the danger territory. If you're the Olympians, it's this lead that Weiss has in the solo lane has started to really eke its way into the other roles, and not even necessarily from him rotating, just his presence in these fights. Like that fight in the jungle, him being there is honestly probably part of the reason why XWhiteHombrex gets out. I mean, he did also blink away, sure. Yeah. But I mean, having a level 10 versus level 7 in the solo lane is, like I said, like once it gets to mid game, you start having these team fights around objectives. I mean, if I'm StInKyyPPiNkYY or bunnytush, I am shaking in my boots right now because I do not want a tier literally running at me and making my damage.
No, absolutely not. I mean, being an ADC or mid, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see a tier that is absolutely fed out in brains running at you and you cannot do a thing about it. But I mean, saying that, the Rama and the Scylla, they have a really good peel for themselves, really good peel for each other. So we'll see what happens.
And actually, I didn't even notice Ordered Mess has a 2-level lead as well in the duo lane.
He absolutely does, and I mean, you do see that Onyx is kind of putting in work with the damage charts on this Naja, but it's not going to be enough right now for his team with the level deficits that they have. Obviously, Sobekul was popped there as well, so that's down. It looks like Roll's also going to be down, and Tia's just openly proxying. I mean, there's nothing that this Cullen can do about it. Cullen's in a really bad spot as well.
Right.
This is going to be a really early. This is going to be an early rotation into mid from Batia. I mean, he's able to. Let's be honest.
They also don't have any vision here, so that's going to be beads from the Scylla, and little off the mark on the 2 there, and beads also used on the soul. XWhiteHombrex ults over into the tower there and does get the kill onto bunnytush.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
like
gonna be a
Gold
kill
Fury is going to
for-
be the call here, and I wanted to kind of backtrack on something that you were talking about here with Onyx Goofie, and I think it's the Olympians' problem this game so far is they have as we see Onyx Goofie get a kill onto XWhiteHombrex.
Zilla is still up. They are able to actually steal this. This Zilla needs to step up and try and ult the Gold Fury.
I think she steps up, she gets obliterated though.
Bean's gonna be popped there from
does
Onyx.
get the kill on the Onyx Goofie there. And FattyBacon may also take a spill here with the tier there. Nice jump away. And even though they did lose one person there, I mean, they did trade 1-for-1, jungle for jungle. They did at least keep them off that Gold Fury. So this rotation by tier is not really going to pay off for him, but he still has a fairly hefty lead here. So
yeah, it's a good rotation for him to do with the lead that he has, but Cullen's now able to free farm and he's going to put himself kind of back into the game.
And what I was going to say is what I'm noticing so far from this Olympians team is that they have the I'm going to call it the Zapman symptom, the Zapman disease, where it's like, oh, I have to do one more wave, and then
yeah,
and I think that's part of the reason. Like, Onyx Goofie is not one of the players in this game right now that's guilty of that, and I think it's just he pulls somebody up in the air, and because his team is already so low, they're kind of afraid to go in and put damage. I mean, look, this Scylla is. I mean, really, you've got Onyx Goofie is top damage in the game, and then you've got basically everybody on Ducktals except for Sobek, and obviously you're not expecting your Sobek to do a lot of damage, but then you've got literally all of Olympians there, and I mean, it's also not the best to see your Fafnir have more damage than Rom and Cullen at 12 minutes in the game.
Yeah, it's something that you definitely do not want to see. The Sash is going to be on point onto Hombre. He's going to have the ult out there. Ultimate's going to be popped from Jablonke, and it looks like Hombre did come back down and it was just slightly off the mark. Blink's also going to be popped just so that he makes sure he gets out of there. And Weiss is coming in again. Blink's going to be popped. He's going to be on mark and not. Onyx is going to take a hell of a lot of damage.
He just did there, and that's again, you know, when you have a solo laner that's just that far ahead, it's rough. I think he's gonna pop over the wall here. Yep.
Yep, and he's on his back camp.
Just gonna
Aegis is also going to be. Oh no, that wasn't Aegis. It's a speed buff around him. I stink.
Yeah. all good. It happens.
The damage there from the soul, though. I mean, that's absolutely unreal. Half hits off of the two. You'll love to see it.
I mean, not if you're Olympians. You don't love to see it.
Absolutely not. I mean, we will just take a break from talking about the game a minute, and we will look at these builds. And what do you think to any of these builds?
Let's see here. Kind of I'm a little surprised, but not completely surprised to see that we have the why can't I put words in my mouth? The Thanatos starter. Hidden mannequins.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna go mannequins hidden blade, right?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like, if you're gonna go mannequins, like, there is no reason to go mannequin mace. Like, it's just gonna really amplify. If he hits somebody out of combat with that scythe, I mean, somebody's health is gonna get literally evaporated. Also, a little surprised to see. God, I'm going deep here. Not the Jotuns. Because, like, you don't, like, obviously Thana does do auto Hydras. God. I am so bad with names here right now. But Hydra's, like, sure, you get the 10%, but you don't really, like, Thana does auto, like, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a huge fan of
Weiss is just kind of
on him, especially
right
this early. I mean, he only has the power from Jotun. Like, I get, obviously, he's got 30% CDR, and that's cool. But
yeah, if I was to point out any of these in Soul's build, the fact that he rushed into Typhon's Fang and then went to the Spear of Magus just now. And I'm really surprised to see that because, I mean, a Charon's coin would have been ideal just to get that extra boost of speed. He would have had that pretty much stacked already. Fully 15 minutes into the game, and Solo is going to be popped there, and Weiss is going to pick up a kill there onto FattyBacon. As Pteroducktlys also pick up the Goal of Fury. And I mean, Typhon's Fang is good, but I mean, I don't really want to see it here. I want to see a more ability-based build, and Onyx is going to pick up a kill here onto XWhiteHombrex. He's going to also ult up into the air. Onyx actually picks up a kill there onto Aztec Warrior, and Lowe's actually just going to end up picking up a kill there. And that is something you do like to see, and that's ConjurationNite actually getting a pick onto Weiss there, who was zoning 1v3.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, I mean it's a little unfortunate for him to take a spill there, especially to this Cullen, because now this 3-level lead that he had is now
it's gone.
Sure, they got the Gold Fury and they did get a kill onto the Naja, but losing your raid boss definitely hurts.
Exactly.
Duckles.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is, so I think if he rushes Magus first, or even if he goes Magus first instead of the Typhons, and then maybe goes into Typhons, it's not as bad. But I think Charon's is something that it needs to pick up, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Soul's special.
Yeah, Soul's just a very
like I mean, you can build her full lifesteal and it plays fine. I mean, having the Typhons, and obviously you get the little bit of lifesteal from the Magus, and you do also have the little bit of lifesteal from the Vamp Shroud. You know, Lowe's really going to be able to sustain here, slightly off the mark on the ult, but does get to execute. XWhiteHombrex gets to execute on this Pinky there. But
pick up ConjurationNite, who's actually in front now of Weiss. Weiss's really early rotations have kind of costed him, to be honest. It's put him behind now.
Yeah.
It's a really good turnaround in the game here from Olympians, and I mean, they are still 5k gold down. You do hate to see it, but I mean,
yeah, it's
really
kind
well
of
together.
Right now, it's more they've stopped the bleeding. It's not necessarily they've made a comeback yet. I mean, it's kind of plateaued at this point. But again, that was kind of like you were saying at the beginning of the cast, that Duckles seem to struggle really in the mid game, and that's I mean, we're kind of getting into late game now, but I guess I would say the fact that if that's been their weak point all season and they're keeping even Steven with Olympians, that really bodes well for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Game. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like they had a lead and they just didn't know where to use it. Like, they should have been picking by Gold Fury a lot earlier than they did with the leads that they had. We are going to see Thanatos ult in here, and he's going to be...
I don't think he's going to get it. Nope, he does get it.
Absolutely on the mark. That kill there with ConjurationNite is pretty big, and I mean, speaking of pretty big, this 3-level lead in the mid, I mean, it's only just 3 levels.
It just ticked over to 2, so it's probably like 2.5.
Yeah, absolutely, but I mean, even still, with a soul, that's not something you want to see. But what I was saying, and as Pteroducktlys actually pulled this fire giant, it's kind of like they should have pushed a lot earlier with what they have.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you think about like meta gaming, they always say, you know, the most important tower on the map is that mid T1, and they got that mid T1 fairly early, and they kind of didn't really do anything with it. Like, they didn't look for buff invades. They didn't, you know, like we just kind of chill in mid lane and kind of push the wave, go to jungle camps. You know, like it wasn't like they were really trying to push that one there.
Yeah, they really should have, and I mean, that's one thing that you will find in Loki happens more than anything else, and that is a team with a big lead not using that lead. It's one of the main differences between the Loki and the also going to be popped here from Jablonke. The Jablonke that actually only has 1 level lead now. So
yeah, because during that that Fire Giant push, bunnytush was able to get the T1 and the T2 in left, so definitely got a lot of farm there. See Thana going up in the air looking for something, gets ulted by Onyx. That was a really nice play from Onyx Goofie, and the ult from StInKyyPPiNkYY does hit, and Onyx Goofie does
really good
kill.
play there.
That was a really good reaction play there from Onyx Goofie. Like that was pretty insane. Did use the beads though in order to go up, but
that was an incredible play there from him. And pretty big for the Scylla as well for that sister. I mean, this Scylla at this moment in time just tickles, does absolutely nothing.
right.
But wait until the late game and it's going to be something.
Anything to do, we have xWhiteHombrex. He's gonna get punished for sitting behind the T2 tower instead of going for the tower here. And Aztec Warrior's also gonna fall. TR ults in.
This is a really good fight here for the Olympians, and Weiss is in big trouble.
Yeah, and the horrific.
All it needed one hammer. There's the hammer. Absolutely huge. Scylla does only just miss the abilities, and Rama goes up. One off, other off. Nothing to be seen.
And looks like Reese is just gonna take him around, and looks like the blink is also used there in the ult from Thana gets StInKyyPPiNkYY. Although he does ultimately end up paying with his life there.
And Olympians are going to be here and pick up this tier 1 in mid, and ConjurationNite is actually going to pick up that kill there.
I'm a little confused to how we got to this point. Like, I'm a little... I don't know why Ordered Mess was zoning away, trying to zone away 4 people when the T2 tower was there, and now it looks like Olympians are going to crawl their way back into this game and get this Primal Fury here, which will obviously help their efforts here.
Oh, absolutely, and I mean that,
and that 5K lead is now 2.7.
Yes. I mean, Pteroducktlys are going to do the right thing here and go and count on the Pyromancer. But I mean, it's all going towards Olympians right now, and as I said, again, Pteroducktlys kind of throwing away the mid game.
Yeah, I think they just kind of
taking wrong fights, I think, is the main thing to point out. They're taking fights in places they do not need to.
I think they thought they were further ahead than they were. Like,
yeah,
there's no reason why xWhite should be trying to zone 4 people at a T2 at 20 minutes in the game.
Absolutely not, and they need to know that they need to use that lead that they had somewhere else, invading buffs, taking tier 1 towers, going to objectives. That's the sort of thing that you need to see in the mid game to push your lead even further into the late game and make the other team not be able to do anything. I mean, it's looking really good now for Olympians because they can walk into these fights and actually be able to kind of fight.
Can we talk a minute about how Aztec Warrior has literally 1 ward place per minute right now?
We shall...
Because that's a lot.
On 23 wards already.
That's a lot of wards.
That is in fact a ward diff right there. Aztec's putting in work and he's going for that record.
It's gotta be. I mean,
it appears that me being his captain 2 seasons ago and screaming at him to place wards worked.
So we're gonna see as this Fire Giant comes down, we're gonna see the tried and true Fire Giant dance.
We do love to see the Fire Giant dance.
I don't.
No, neither do I.
I'm a little in, like the positioning is a little interesting here. We do have the blink coming in from the Cullen here, and Cullen does transform, and it's just gonna go all in on. Ooh, and Scylla ult's also used and hits Sobek. He's also being used. The ult's going up for Asia, and that is a dead Thanatos that's going to fall there. Nice. Fearless there, although he does not get credit for the kill there. So it looks like both teams are going to kind of hang around They do have one tank at least on the side of Olympians, and it looks like StInKyyPPiNkYY is still here, and he's gonna get collapsed on and
Absolutely is. Really bad
and
conditioning
gets
there.
deleted there. I get why he was there, but also I think he could have maybe positioned a little bit safer. Like where Tira is right now is probably where I would have sat if I was the solo there, and it looks like Weiss is going to try to keep them out.
Rama is home.
Rama ulted with Sobek
Too early,
instead of
too
the
early.
objective. No, he ulted Sobek instead of the objective.
I mean,
So it does get the wrong.
He did save one, and it was really good for.
Nice double kill there.
I think a double kill here as well.
It might actually even be a triple kill because Weiss is a little too weak here, and this may be rough here, but we do have Thana up in the ult, and it looks like he's just going to back off here, and just like that, Olympians can push this
Breathe
fire.
again. Yeah. I don't think that the Ducktals are going to give it up though. Lowi's going to show face on this Soul, and the Soul does have ult. Speaking of the ult,
early, Olympians don't get it.
do get it.
Yeah, he ulted a little too early there, and that's going to be a double kill. And
Yeah, bunnytush, double kill here.
if I'm the Ducktals, man, I don't know what happened, but they're gonna lose. I'm sure they're gonna lose both T2s here. They might even lose a Phoenix. I mean, they only have X-Ball up. If they can really burst this tower down, that might be a right Phoenix here on the side of Olympians. That they
Yeah, and they do have Pinion Wave as well, which is really good awareness for them to go into that lane.
Although it looks like they are going to back off, so it looks like they're not going to push the envelope here to try to get that Phoenix, but that T2 tower, I think they can still take even without minions there.
Absolutely, and StInKy needs to just group up with his team. He needs to be a bit more aware of whereabouts he is. Just group up with your team, chill.
Yeah, he needs to be near bunnytush and just kind of hang out there, because bunnytush obviously, like, the early and the mid game might have been a little bit rough, but has really shown through so far this late game. I mean, they've really rocketed up the damage charts here, where, you know, before it was a lot of Ducktals and you had Neja, and now you have Rama creeping up to Neja's damage. I mean, obviously we are in late game here with 27 minutes and almost full builds.
What you do like to see is that Olympians are now ahead.
Yep, and that's a good confidence boost for this Olympians team. That, you know, that early game was definitely it was a little bit rough, but the fact that they were able to reel this in, even if they say don't win this game, which, you know, right now I would say it's a toss up, that they could definitely hold their heads up high. That
They was able to
they
crawl
fought
out
back. They fought back in this game.
Absolutely, and I mean, they still have 2 tier 2 towers available here. They just need to kind of use what they have left on this fire giant to make sure they're all getting as high a level as possible. Don't go a bit overzealous here. I don't know how long's left on their fire giant. Probably maybe around a minute and a half left on it. It looks like they are going to group up for the duo side Phoenix, which is the best Phoenix to go for, because I mean the long lane obviously.
Yeah, it's the furthest away from the fire giant, and you do have Scylla coming in late here to this push. But if Weiss catches her out,
yep, enhanced buffs for Olympians as well on Scylla and on Rama, so this is a good placement right here in the fight. He's going to initiate. Low is really low. He's going to have to pop the ult. The separate's also going to pop the ult. Yeah, that's a really good.
He gets a nice ult in there, and Weiss is going to have to run away, but Rama snipes are going to be just barely off the mark there.
1 hit, 2 done. And it was a really good pluck there from Aztec to kind of get ConjurationNite away from low. Kept low in the game there. Well,
it also secured the death of ConjurationNite.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like they're not going to give up. They absolutely are. I do apologise. They're going to walk away.
So you give up your solo land for your jungle if you're the side of Duckles. I mean, you do defend the Phoenix, so that's a slight win.
And I mean, if anybody I wanted to fall here, it would absolutely be the Thanatos. Coming into this late game, Thanatos kind of becomes an ult bot, is what we like to say. And I mean, if you're trading anyone for Pteroducktlys, that's really who you want to trade. He managed to pick up a kill as well there, so I mean,
yeah,
he picks up a kill off of his ult and he dies. That's the way you want it to be. Weiss managed to get out.
I'm a little interested in this Scylla build. Got pretty sure it does. I don't remember if Soul Reaver gives percent pen anymore.
Soul Reaver
does not.
I
know it used to at one point. So they've got 40% pen, and then they've got the flat 15. Definitely, like, obviously having percent pen is not a bad thing.
I do like the Soul Reaver pickup, to be honest. I do like it.
Yeah. I'm wondering though if maybe they sell the Vamp Shroud for a rod or something, just to get that little bit of extra oomph. Sure, you are also going to get 10% pen, and you're already capped on percent pen.
Yeah. What would I change here in this Scylla build? I would have built a Spear of Magus instead of the Deso. You would swap out the Ob Shard for the staff, the Rod of the Booty, and then obviously I like keeping that. I like, it's not Sacrificial Shroud, it's the other one that gives you 55 physical procs. Blood-Soaked Shroud
Isn't that the one that gives you more damage, but it costs you 5% health or something?
No, that's Sacrificial Shroud.
Oh.
I like Blood-Soaked because it kind of says screw you jungle and solo lane.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so it restores 2% of your health and mana, that's what it said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's basically upgraded Death's Embrace, but for mages.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I like that item. I really like that item. I don't think the Deso is a bad thing, but I mean, he wants to be able to get that ult back as quick as possible. At this moment in time, here comes the max from Olympians here.
Goofie that gets ordered mess, and that's a huge pick there on the side of Olympian. Now they can kind of just take this fire. I don't think Olympians are gonna, or I don't think Duckles are gonna give it up without a fight. But on
absolutely not CFG.
Well, Onyx Goofie gets a lot of damage onto them. Kinda is able just to get away. Looks like Dana's up in the air. I think Dana's gonna try to execute this on here.
Duckles
steal the fire giant. That's huge. I think they're gonna lose Weiss here.
It's Weiss, not Weiss, please. I mean, he's gonna die. And I mean, if you're Olympians here, you're still liking this trade because I mean, you take out 3 members of Pteroducktlys here, one being the ADC and one being the solo laner who has done nothing but cause you trouble all game. I mean, obviously Soul's still going to have a hold of this this fire giant. It's going to be EFG as well. And speaking of Loki, he's going to kill, and Hombre is actually going to fall here to StInKyyPPiNkYY. Order is going to take a hell of a lot of poke here. Solo's actually going to be popped, and Lowe's just in the middle of everything here. He's going to pick up a kill here. Order is actually going to kill there on FattyBacon. Ults pop from bunnytush, and Lowe's really high up here, and he does not give a damn at what he's facing. And they actually get them off of that that Phoenix there, and that's a 4v2 that Duckles just took and won.
Yeah, and I mean, Soul late game does damage, and especially because Soul has EFG, whereas you don't. Definitely going to make it that much more difficult to...
Yeah, I don't think the value of this Scylla is coming through here for Olympians.
Yeah, I mean, that last fight where he got the reset off the ult got some value, but otherwise it's been a pretty quiet.
This is what you like to see. Pteroducktlys picking up this Oni Fury. Weiss is just going to bully out Onyx. Pteroducktlys now have the Oni Fury in their favour. Are they going to be able to use this to their benefit and kind of push down one of these Phoenixes?
Really, they need to push left. I mean, you do have that wave that's right there.
Yeah,
if they can get everybody over to the left and really push this, then that will be a tough defense. And Low should still have EFG up when that wave reaches. So it'll be that much more difficult. That Low is going to hit that Phoenix as it has no protections with that EFG.
Yeah, and it is EFG as well, and that's going to be huge for them.
Yeah.
Providing that Low does his job and just hits the Phoenix, he doesn't try and get greedy.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're going to go mid. It's not a worst thing. I mean, obviously, you know, getting, especially the left Phoenix, I would say is probably the better player. I mean, look at that damage, 239 and in hand from the soul. It looks like they're just going to clear off these T2s and take all the farm in process.
At this point, everybody's going to
Well, you say that, but also it's nice to get a 3K or a 500 pot.
That is true. That is very true. Just tell Cheeto that it stinks and get on with your life.
I love me some 3K 500 pots.
As an ADC, you have those 3K pots. So we are going to see them back up here, and there isn't long left until the spawn for the next EFG. And I think that is going to be the destination here for the Pteroducktlys. EFG spawning in roughly around a minute's time. Let's see what Olympians can do here. This is going to be the decider. Whoever wins this EFG fight is going to be the winner of this game, I should imagine.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'm a little surprised with... Sorry, I got thunderstorm, so I have to mute there for a second. But the wave management of this Olympians team, they were over in that left lane, and they kind of like moved everybody over to right. But I think they should have had somebody over there pushing, at least getting the wave to push in their direction. Because I don't know if that wave is actually it might be pushing. Nope, it's not pushing in their direction.
No, it isn't.
In left, and that's if the Ducktals notice that wave is pushing towards that Phoenix. They kind of stall this a little bit. Maybe wait for them to force somebody to come back to defend that Phoenix.
Yeah, we will see what happens here, and the AFG does fall 38 minutes and 10 seconds into the game. I mean, it's game on for both teams here. They are just going to sort of reach this at the start, trying to bait Olympians into making a step. Ring toss is going to be popped, and Aztec take a little bit of poke, and they are going to move on here. Aztec actually plugs in, and he does take the hammer here, and a lot of damage from the Scylla as well. And Sobekol is going to be popped there to kind of push himself out. Onyx is going to take a little bit of poke as well, but Weiss is really deep here. Ring toss is going to be popped again, trying to just get a little bit of poke out, and that's a good trade for Olympians. They got a little bit of poke on the other team, and that is what you want to see in that situation. And they are able now to come onto the front foot and try and be the aggressors rather than be
they also got the ult from the Sobek there, which is huge.
That's one. Huge. And speaking of Sobek, he has little HP.
Also, to get the Thanatos ult there also is huge on the side of Olympians here. You've got two really impactful ults.
CFG. Weiss is coming round the backside. There is no ward there, which you do not like to see. Weiss is just kind of chilling in the backside of their jungler. You don't want to see that. Blitz going to be popped. actually going to
Olympians get the fire giant, and now it's going to be
Onyx.
retreat.
It's actually going to pick up a triple kill. I do not want to talk about this. Ordered best picks up fourth. That's going to be game 2.
I don't know if it's me. Cheeto, you're kind of like, you sound like you're in a tunnel.
I am absolutely not in a tunnel.
Okay, now you sound.
We do hate to see it. And Luke's going to be compared from halfway. He does manage to get out of FattyBacon, but he can't really do a great deal at this point. It is going to be game 1-2 Pteroducktlys here, even though Olympians won that AFG, but it's the fight that matters afterwards.
Yeah, if I'm like, that this game lived up to kind of what we were saying at the beginning, right? This was going to be a good set despite the records, and it definitely lived up to that here. Going a 40-minute slapper. Unfortunately for Olympians, they were not able to secure that win. And honestly, I would say that if this Cullen was kind of more in the game, early game, I think Olympians might have been able to pull it out. I think Olympians were better around objectives than Duckles were that game, and really had good fight selection. I feel like around objectives, we do see 35 wards from Aztec. That's
a record.
That's nuts.
That's a Loki division record.
Well, congratulations then to.
I will just confirm that really quick. Bear with me.
Okay.
Let me pull this up really quick. Yep, most wards this season so far placed in a game is 33. So it's a current season record. Let me pull up the all-time records. Let's have a look. I need to remember where it is. Here we go. Loki division records. Wards, yes, it absolutely is. That is an all-time record for Loki division.
Well, congratulations then for being a ward fiend.
Yeah. The previous
in 35
record
minutes too. I mean, that, or 40 minutes too. I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah, that's
really like you would think, like if you have that many wards, you're looking at a 60-minute slapper, not a 40-minute slapper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. Previous record was held by both Luke Duke and Salty Slayer with 34. So one ward pips it.
So Cheeto, if I'm Olympians, what do I do differently that game in order to make a game 3 a reality here?
So looking at that game for me, I think if tides are switched and it is ConjurationNite that is in the situation that Weiss was, able to push out a lot earlier, I think Olympians win that game. I feel like their presence around objectives was a lot more than what the Pteroducktlys brought. I think if Olympians can get the early game, then it'll completely be a little bit of a different game, honestly. They kind of fought back there and they lost it based on one fight at the end of the game, which is just how smart game kind of works sometimes. I think if it is swapped around for the other side, though, I think Olympians may pip something here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if Pteroducktlys do the same as what they did in the last game and kind of throw the mid game. With Olympians, if they have that advantage in the early to mid game, what are Pteroducktlys able to do? Honestly,
I honestly think it's not even necessarily that the shoes need to be flipped in the soul lane. I think honestly, if he just wasn't so far behind and had to farm, I think that would have also made a big difference.
yeah, absolutely.
Do you think we'll see any respect bans off that first game, or?
I think other than the soul ban, which I mean, it's kind of one of those that you have to sacrifice, to be honest, because if you're not banning soul, then what? Are you not banning? Are you not going to ban the Artemis? Are you not going to ban the Athena? Are you not going to ban the Tiamat? Like, and I mean, Lowe's able to play both. Tiamat is able to play Morgan Le Fay and is able to play Soul. So you put him on either of those three gods, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? So maybe you have to get rid of them all and kind of just give away the Artemis. I don't know. No.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing. I mean, there's so many strong picks right now that it's tough to really pick out. Like if there's someone that plays really well on a specific character and you want to ban them out, it's like, well, kind of can't because there's so many top tier picks in the game right now.
Yeah, there's that many top tier picks in all roles, to be honest. I mean, let's think about it. Once Persephone is actually able to be played again in comp setting, what are you going to ban 4 mids in one game? Like, and I mean, even banning the top 3 to 4 mids being what, like Soul, Morgan Le Fay, and Tiamat, added Persephone into that mix as well.
Yeah.
Then I mean, there's still Raj in there, there's still Yanis there, there's still Scylla there, there's still Merlin. There's that many good other mid laners that are not spoke of. That it's just really dangerous for all of them.
Yeah, just mid is the most busted role right now. That's why you have so many mage bans. Only ADC you have banned is Artemis.
Exactly, and I mean, Rama was
And
available
Soul,
there.
I guess.
The Rama was good, to be honest. It was a good pick. Did what it needed to do, but unfortunately wasn't able to make a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, the early game from bunnytush there on that Rama was a little rough, but they definitely made up for it by the time it got to that late game. I definitely feel like Rama was having more impact in these team fights than the X-Ball was coming around.
Oh yeah,
mid-game.
absolutely. And I mean, XWhiteHombrex did an incredible job of stopping that Rama from doing what he needed to do early game.
Yep.
So we are just waiting for the teams to head on into the picks and bans. Until then, you can listen to the soothing voice of Getting Cocky. Welcome to the ad break.
I don't think there's really much to elaborate on. I hope that this next game we do see another quality game from both these teams. Maybe not necessarily lengthwise, but 40 minutes is definitely a long time.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I mean, if Olympians can bring it to Pteroducktlys in game 2, we could be looking at maybe seeing a game 3 here.
Yeah. If they have 2 more 40-minute games, he'll be fine.
Exactly. What you do need to know is that Cheeto is an absolute gamer, and I am here casting and playing another game in minimize mode at the same time.
Way to go. So when
Gamer
you know you're
hours.
an addict.
Exactly. Right, let me jump into community chat real quick. I will post a screenshot of what I'm doing right now. Hold up. Where are we? Upload file. And I'll tag you. Get in. Cocky. There you go. This is me right now, bro. And we are gonna go into picks and bans for game 2.
And it looks like we have JakeyJakester in this game.
The TheJakeyJakester himself has been picked up for game 2. It was in chat for game 1, so let's see what Jake can bring in to this game.
We do see the Rama ban. I guess
So I
they
think,
really felt that Rama was impactful enough so to ban it.
so what, is Jake going to be going into the jungle this game, maybe?
Well, they took out.
Jake is a jungler.
Yeah, but they took out their mid laner. So unless Onyx
Maybe
Goofy's going
Onyx
mid,
will be playing mid, yeah. Onyx will
Yeah.
be playing mid and Jake going into jungle. I think that's a good swap, to be honest. But I mean, is Jake able to make the impact that Onyx did in jungle in game 1?
we'll have to find out. We do see 3 mage bans on the side of Olympians there. In this third ban, I'm guessing they're trying to decide between do they want to allow the Athena through or they want to allow the Artemis through. And they banned Tsukuyomi. Huh.
The Tsukuyomi ban.
So they're going to allow both through. And I actually totally forgot about Gilgamesh. So they could get Athena and Artemis here, which would be huge. If they don't pick up Athena and Artemis, I'm going to be big sad. Okay, there's one.
Athena's there, and pick up the Artemis.
Pick up the Artemis. Let's go.
Yeah, that
Called
is
it.
filth. That is pure filth.
Yeah.
Right there. That is
Interesting strategy there from Pteroducktlys there on the bans.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of one of those things with Gilgamesh, and they are going to pick up the Loki here with the looks of things. Yep, it is going to be locked in. And I mean, honestly, you see Gilgamesh locked in so quickly by a lot of teams, but the thing is about Gilgamesh is if you are actually not good on the god, or if you're not able to hit those skill shots, then the god's just not good value, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought a fourth pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's been a while since we've seen a fourth in a league set.
Please pick up a Fenrir. Please pick up a Fenrir. Please pick up a Fenrir.
We are going to see Weiss on the Cucullin, which is known as his best god.
Yep.
Let's see what I mean. This man out pressured a Cucullin on the tier. So I mean, this man obviously knew what he was playing against a Cucullin. So let's see if he can play the Cucullin as well as he can play against it.
Well, other thing here that's interesting is that you do have this Gilgamesh, which I'm assuming is I highly doubt that we're going to see a Loki solo. I mean, that was the thing like way back before it got reworked, but now it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not I mean, really a thing.
Yeah, you look at these comps right now and you see, honestly, just Athena, Artemis, Cucullin. You look at that and you just think GG, to be honest, if you ask me. Because, I mean, Artemis is, with the bow builds currently being so meta, it's just a thing that with her auto-attack stim, she's just able to shred so well based off of Ichabod, Atlanta's bow, Golden bow, and I mean, it's just silly the amount of shred that she's able to do. And I mean, if you pick up a Kinsize in with that, it's just dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, with an Athena Athena's just busted, dumb god. Hit a taunt, GG. And Cucullin's going to bring that pressure that Weiss wants to be able to bring.
Yeah, and the worst part of it for Olympians here is that like Athena will burn beads on taunt. So if they don't have beads when she taunts, or they use beads to get away from the taunt, Artemis just ults you, and then you're in the same predicament that you were.
Exactly.
So GG. But
Yeah.
for our second phase bans here, we've got Ymir and Geb on the side of the Ductals, and you've got Fenrir and Morrigan on the side of Olympians. And I really like those two bans on the side of Olympians there. I mean, Fenrir is super annoying for literally that entire team. They have no CC immune ult. Well, I guess Loki you could throw in as kind of. And then Morrigan, if they have two Athenas or two Artemises or something, I mean that's just downright gross.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you'd need to see that. Honestly, they haven't banned, or they did ban Dorama, so I mean, she can't play Dorama, bunnytush, but I mean, so the Izanami is going to be the pickup, and what would you have liked to see in duo lane here? Because Izanami is not what I would have wanted.
I would say it's not.
It's not a bad pickup, knowing that Izanami is going
worst.
to bring pressure into duo lane.
I probably would have preferred a Chiron, especially with the taunt that you can,
Yeah.
Cleanse the taunt. You can cleanse the ult. You can cleanse the.
I think
trap.
Lo actually just read my mind and picked Merlin. But I mean, this duo lane is going to be absolute. It's going to be disgusting.
Well, I guess the thing is though is that like Ganesh Izanami clear is going to be disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
So like they're going to be able to if they play the lane correctly and they don't get cringe level 2 ganked by
I don't see
Erlong Shen, then
I cannot see it happening, honestly.
Yeah, the bunnytush may come in here with a little bit of a lead.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, that's what you want to try and happen on an Izanami. But I mean, the later this game goes for Pteroducktlys here,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a more late game comp for them.
No,
I mean,
for sure. I mean, this game, if you're on the side of Olympians, you're on a clock.
Yeah.
Once Artemis gets full build, good luck to you because you're probably done. Unless she's just super far behind.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be hard for the Artemis to be able to 1v1 against an Izanami as well. So, I mean, that's going to be nice.
Yeah. Izanami does get more power the lower her HP get.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see build-wise. Obviously, like I think the early builds are going to be the same, but I'm kind of interested to see how because last game we definitely had a difference in builds with the X Ball and the ROM.
So I mean, honestly, based on hunters, as far as I'm aware, you would always go Ichthval Rush, and then depending on if you have a hard clear on your god, if you do not, then you'll go into the Golden Bow. Sorry, I still call it. Yeah, I still call it Golden Bow, or Odysseus Bow. Yeah, I still call it Golden Bow for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. So if you don't have a hard clear, then you'd go for the Odysseus Bow. If you do, then you'd go for Antaeus first.
Yeah, well, last game the X Ball went Transcendent second, so that was
wow.
Different. Yeah. I mean, they went for Ichthval, then Transcendence, excuse me. Yeah, so that's still
Ichthval Trans.
Yeah.
I want to see what this form's going to bring. What you do hate to see is your mid laner taking so much poke from the red buff.
Yeah. And honestly, we did take a little bit more poke than Lo did.
Merlin's gonna absolutely bully this both out of lane.
Should, but we shall see. Looks like we're gonna see a cringe gank over into the solo lane as
Oh, big oof for
first blooded
Weiss.
there.
Really good for JakeJakester to
Jugglers
come into
love
this
those
game.
cringe level 2 ganks, man, and
Yeah,
everybody else
I mean,
does not.
Jake to be able to come into this game and pick up first blood, that's what you want.
Yeah. Unlike last game where Ducklings kind of had their foot on the gas through the early game, having a little bit of a lead obviously will help. But I mean, looking at it right now, I mean, you have about an additional 100-ish. Actually, no, it's actually about 200 now, gold lead on top of the 500 there, actually creeping towards 300. So it looks like in addition to getting that first blood, they also are doing a little bit of a better job getting these neutral farm. Yeah,
what I am interested to see, and you will also be interested to see, is that here's a blink from the longevity here, and he's actually going to become a kill there onto TheJakeyJakester. Good awareness from team communication from Ducktlys there to take that pick. I don't think this Loki needed to be up there at 2 minutes into the game on the enemy backcamps. bunnytush is going to take a hell of a lot of poke there from off of a taunt, and I mean, so what I was
that's
going
what
to
Artemis
say,
brings, or that's what Artemis Athena brings.
both solo laners really poked out here, and yeah. So I mean, what I am surprised to see is blue pots on ADC rather than multi-pots, because
Yeah.
I prefer the multi-pots because it allows you to fight a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree. That's also and Izanami is not a god that you like. Sure, her clear is good. We see the blink being used by Weiss TR to not get initiated on by TheJakeyJakester. So Jakey's looking at this blue buff and does manage to secure it here and will walk away both sides. So. And of course, as I was saying, something that FattyBacon gets really poked out here and gets killed by Ordered Mess there. Nice use of the trap there to trap on the taunt. That's another thing, another spoken, I guess, bonus of having Athena, right? Is that you can taunt, and if they're being taunted, then they can walk into the trap, and Artemis will get longer bonus damage than the taunt will give with that. So, also really interesting to see that we see Artemis top player damage. Artemis is not a god, not a god you expect at 4 minutes in the game to be top PD, but here we are.
Weiss is actually going to fall here to ConjurationNite. ConjurationNite picking up solo kill there. That's nice. Something you want to see.
And as we said at the beginning of this game, or before this game even started, is, you know, if ConjurationNite can get on the right foot early and make impactful rotations, then Olympians should win this game, or has a better chance of winning this game. I don't know if I would say that as much now, looking at the draft of the Ducktlys, getting too late game, you know, well, I mean, you've got Artemis and Athena, but if he can really make an impact before game's over. And actually, also interesting to see, we see 3 people over at the blue buff for the Ducktlys here, so they're really making a concerted effort to sniff out Loki because they know he knows the timer. And he's unable. Nice taunt there, and Jakey's gonna have to ult out, but is not able to, and gets obliterated there. Really nice defense of the buff there. They might even be able to, if they know that this other buff is coming up, then they might be able to.
Absolutely. That's a really good awareness there from the Pteroducktlys to be there on the timer and pick up the kill here because they knew that Loki had the timer. Yeah, it looks like we are going to lose that both. And I mean, ConjurationNite takes a hell of a lot of poke there as well.
So one thing about the buff steals that always feels kind of bad is like you get the early ones and it's like, yeah, that's great, but the later ones are worth more. Like, sure, you don't need them as much, right? Like the later you are, you'll have more items, so you won't need them as much, but you get a little bit more reward. Like they got more XP and gold for stealing that blue buff than what the Olympians did on this earlier buff. It looks like Luke's trying to proxy here. Does use his rage in order to.
And I mean, ConjurationNite is not going to be able to stop him doing it, to be honest.
No. No, they definitely needed it. Someone there to punish that in order for him to do something. And
bunnytush misses the two there, but I mean, not going to matter. I'd like to see Mess play a little bit more aggressive here on this Artemis.
Yeah, especially with the lead that he has. Definitely would like to see it. But you have FattyBacon looking for a rotation here. And the Athena ult is going to be used. And you also have xWhiteHombrex coming in. And that is a lot of damage on the bunnytush. And bunnytush does fall. And FattyBacon may also be victim here.
FattyBacon is a dead man. They need to clear that gold Scorpion. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
Awful is going to be popped, it's just slightly off the mark, and Onyx is going to actually pick up that kill there onto Low for Life. So a nice counter pick in mid for Olympians, but Pteroducktlys are going to go ahead and clear that Scorpion.
Yeah, but that was at least something to make a really bad engagement there for the Olympians into a it's still not great. Might even lose this red. They do lose the red. Can we look at the charts here for a second? The charts, the graphs. It actually isn't that bad. I mean, XP has been pretty standard. It's been pretty flat, but that gold lead. I mean, they were about a K up, and now they're about 700 down. Maybe 500 up, 700 down. So 1.2k gold swing, and at this point in the game is not anything to be super worried about. I mean, obviously, yeah, it sucks, but definitely could have been a lot worse on the side of Olympians. Still top damage Artemis, though. That to me is still just surprising. I know, obviously, she does do damage, but you don't expect to have such a late game character have, and it's not particularly close either. I mean, you got a 600 damage gap on Erlang Shen, and Erlang Shen has mannequins. Oh, that was a really nice dash cancel there for Ombre. That was pretty sick. I didn't even know that worked that way, to be honest with you. And as I say that now, Erlang Shen is now top damage.
Looks like Pteroducktlys are just going to go ahead and pick up those oracles right here. Good call from them, make sure that they have the vision on that gold here. Weiss is going to pop into his rage farm. He's going to dash in, big ult popped.
xWhiteHombrex gets another kill in the mid lane, and everybody's relatively healthy other than Aztec. Actually, very healthy other than Aztec. So I guess Aztec was tanking the tower there, and it looks like they may lose another red buff here. Although Jakey's looking to do something, and I don't know if he's going to be able to. It's not do anything here. And on Artemis, Izanami, I gotta go. Gotta go, dog.
All's going to be popped here from Izanami as well. It looks like Low's going to kind of just poke into the tower, and Izanami is kind of
He has to use the ult. Now Izanami's in a real pickle. You've got 4 people on either side, but it looks like Ducktlys
just
are gonna back
Goes
off,
to Gold Fury.
take the win where they can. You have Onyx Goofie here over in the solo lane. Looks like ConjurationNite is trying to bait something, but he's gonna fall.
Yeah, I think Onyx needed to poke out earlier there.
Yeah, I would say that, or either maybe he didn't have to jump up and down. It's up downs as much as everybody loves them. There's kind of could have maybe like moved in, got the jump, and then up down instead. Maybe, I don't know. Looking at builds here, I mean, there's nothing. I don't see anything that I'm like, wow, that's super spicy. I mean, well, I guess as I say that, I look at this Erlong Shen's build. And I see that he's got Ichabod into Berserkers, which
Wait, what?
is spicy.
Impact spicy.
You see Jakey getting really low here, and that ultimate from Gilgamesh really huge to keep him somewhat alive here. Jakey's trying to look for something. Gets beads used and does fall. Oh, we have a combat pause. Well, that's not good.
No, you do not like to see that.
ConjurationNite is going to fall with 4 people over there, and that should be a...
They pick
They're
up this
gonna
tier
go
1
for the tower here, but I wonder if they just go for the fire scorpion.
I mean, they still have to do the scorpion, they'll do that after they pick up this tower.
FattyBacon uses dash and the silence. He could still get taunted, and he does, and the ult being used, and that's quite a bit of damage on the low there for chilling on the edge of the pillars there. Initial does a lot of damage.
It does in fact do a lot of damage.
It's actually the hardest hitting ultimate in the game.
Yep, that is facts.
People say supports don't do damage, but I'm behind.
Yeah, Ymir Hill kinda slaps. Not gonna lie.
Awful hits for 677. That's a good damage check there. Get a good feel for what you're gonna do there on your lane opponent. So you know if they're half health, you're in ult obliteration range. Levels here, it looks like you've got a bit of a lead in the jungle. I mean, WhiteHombrex has looked very good on this Erlong Shen. I mean, he's been involved in 8 of the 10 kills, hasn't died yet. You've got a level deficit if you're the Ducktlys in mid. You've also got a lead in the dual lane.
This pops and offers is going to come straight back in. This is dead. Here comes the rest of the team, and Athena is going after ult out. She's not going to go very far though, and Merlin is going to be able to get that pull off there. They are just going to keep on chasing. The ult's going to be popped there from the Erlong Shen. It's a very good dash there from the Ganesha to be able to stop the whole frame from doing his thing. And this Loki is just able to actually shred the hell out of that Erlong Shen. It does actually pick up the kill, and he may pick up the kill onto the Kakullan here as well, but he's in trouble because Lowe's actually here, and that's a lot of poke there onto TheJakeyJakester, who is out of mana, and he's going to just invis straight past the Artemis there. White actually ends up picking up the kill there, and Organize picks up another kill. The ultimate is going to be popped from Izanami, and Izanami, speaking of Izanami, is going to take a hell of a lot of poke there from the Merlin.
Yeah, interesting fight there. It seemed like that fight just kind of was like the Energizer Bunny, and just keep going. Fortunately, it didn't get to the point where people who died in the fight came back, but definitely seemed like it went for a while. And Ducktlys, I mean, they've really, unlike the first game where they kind of just plateaued, this game it seems like this mid game is theirs.
That is what you want to see, let's be honest.
It looks like they may be looking at this Ghoul Fury as well. Got Aztec Warrior there. You don't have your damage. You don't have your damage carries there yet. His Nami is running around the back and gets half health by Reed from Artemis. Again,
they are going to step up here, but
oh, they're committing this. They popped a frenzy.
Bomb.
Yeah, that's a full commit.
Ultimate is going to be popped by Ganesh, and Ultimate's also going to be popped by the fourth there. And XWhiteHombrex actually does pick up a kill onto bunnytush, and fight's just going to be de-initiated.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to push this T1 and maybe look back and spend this gold they just got and maybe look for fire or at least bait it maybe. No, they're going to push for this T2, bait it. I think this is maybe a little bit of an overstay on the side of Duckles, but
May possibly could be an ultimate. Big ult's going to be popped there from Kukulum. Ultimate's also going to be popped there from ConjurationNite. It does actually lose his life form, so Weiss in big trouble. He's in the tower for way too long. Hombre manages to pick up the kill there onto FattyBacon, and
well, I guess I'm wrong. I guess it's not an overstay, huh? They lose their solo laner for support and solo laner, so that's definitely a win on the side of...
still be same, that is the question. Hombre is just going to go to tower and pick up another couple of kills, to be honest. bunnytush manages to kill him in the end, and speaking of bunnytush, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Going to keep on fighting, but it's
that is more in the Duckles' favor here. Although they're not really going to be able to do anything here. Everybody's too low to really secure anything.
This is Nami's just going to look to get some farm. Keeping in the game as well at that. Doing really well to keep in the game.
Now we just wait for the fire giant. It looks like that is what the Duckles are going to position for here. I think once they see this Izanami over in the left lane, should look for something here, as ConjurationNite may get caught a little bit out of position here. Bye-bye Gilgamesh.
Yep, goodbye Gilgamesh, and that's going to open it up to Pteroducktlys, who are going to actually pick up this fire giant now. They are just kind of leeching it right now.
Yeah.
Which I'm really surprised to see. Really, if they'd full committed this already, they would have already destroyed it.
Yeah. Oh, Duckles do get it, and Loki ult is also used there.
Loki's dead.
Yep. Should be. Yep. Nombre gets a kill. And Onyx Goofie may also fall here. Fortunately for the Olympians, he is able to get out with his life, but that could very well be Phoenix on the side of Olympians that should fall here. Yeah. Production was just making a comment about that Athena ult, and that thinks that the ult was supposed to go for the I think it was like a Cullen that was diving, and I would probably agree. And that's one of the downsides about Athena ult, is that, you know, if you have everybody all grouped up or in a line, it's really hard to isolate the target that you want to get to. would be kind of cool if they had, instead of it being like it is, if it was like like the Kali ult. Like obviously you'd have to have vision of the person, but if it was like you could just select and just go.
Yeah, so
That would
taking a quick look at the graphs here, and I think usually for the Ducktals 10 and 12k is just absolutely unreal, and they need to push this lead a lot more than they are, honestly.
Yeah, they're just kind of playing a little bit past. Like that fight was a really good fight for them, but
Absolutely.
they don't really
They
have
could've-
any waves that are really pushing up.
Yeah. Like I said before, but we're in the mid game now, coming towards the late game, and they're at a point where they don't know what they want to do. Like, group together, you need to push waves, make sure that waves are pushing your way. FattyBacon may actually be in trouble here, and if he's all actually like Hombre, it's going to press on the team and
You get the goal fury, but it's just a regular goal fury.
FattyBacon is going to fall here to XWhiteHombrex. Really good taunt there, and I mean, XWhiteHombrex is just absolutely fragging at this point. 12 and 2 is just running people down and just picking up another kill there. Onto the kill. Weiss isn't done yet. Ultimate's going to pop bunnytush, but it's not. It's going to do absolutely nothing because Loki's going to that kill anyway.
That's gonna be game.
Yeah,
It'll be a little tough for them to end without
Pteroducktlys,
minions, but it is definitely doable.
Oh, it's 100% game here. Loki's got no ult. He's not able to do really much, honestly. Here comes XWhiteHombrex, who's just going to kill him anyway, let's be honest. And Aztec, obviously, thinking of that kill. That's just GG. Aztec ends up falling to the Titan, being TheJakeyJakester, the Titan himself, and that's game. 2-0, Pteroducktlys Loki division.
Yeah, that game was Ombre diff. I mean, man came out here, didn't look super great that first game, but this second game, I mean, he did 21 KP, almost 22 KPD. I mean, that's for you know, a melee character. He does obviously have some range in his kit, but that's nuts. And it wasn't even like he had a lot of really good plays, like that Thoth dash that he was able to stop. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the main thing that Olympians need to take away from that game is that both of these games, to be honest, that they played really well. Game 1 was really unfortunate. You managed to get the EFG, but lost on the fight. I mean, you do hate to see it's unfault, but to be able to come back from that much of a deficit and to be able to be fighting in a 40-minute game, it's just really good. And I mean, Game 2, I think it was just more down to they needed to push the comp that they had more early game than they did. They wasn't able to do it. And I mean, Pteroducktlys kind of took advantage of that and kind of ran through the whole of the game.
Yeah, the Olympians definitely showed that they, despite their record, that they definitely can compete. It's just finding that consistency.
Yeah,
I think if they can find that consistency, they can be a potentially scary team in the Loki division.
Absolutely, and Olympians, if you are listening to me right now, don't give up. You still can get towards those playoff spots. I mean, the gauntlet being your main priority right now. You did play really well through through those games. I mean, this Pteroducktlys team went through a rough couple of games in their first couple of games, and everybody has that spot in a season where the team just kind of doesn't mix, and just keep at it, keep that grind going, and I'm sure that you're going to become a really good team.
Yep. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. I'm getting cocky and got official Cheeto here, and thank you, Mr. House, for spectating the games for us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, we'll be back live on C2 and C1 pretty shortly, looking around the next 40 minutes or so. The games that will be live will be, let me just pull it up real quick and I can confirm those games that will be live. Yep, my man did just confirm it. I don't know if you can hear him.
You can't.
Can I hear you?
So they
Still can't
said
hear you. So
Ice Age, and
Yep.
what was the other team for Rat?
Yeah, it's Nightly Koalas Rat Division versus Ice Age Rat Division. That's going to be on Valhalla League 2 right here. And over on Valhalla League 1, it's going to be Skogs 4 Division versus Ice Age 4 Division. That's a really good game to watch.
Yep.